Hello there. Today I have picked up these two words from the legal parlance, but I am not talking about legalities. I am basically talking about life. Pick these two words from the legal quarter and applying it in the context of life, you find something very interesting. First of all, let me clearly share these two words with you. One is a judge, another is a justice. Now wait on, I have something very interesting to share with you. In the context of life, how many times you have seen that other people tend to judge you? And you also tend to judge other people. This attitude of judgment is something very obnoxious. Neither you like it when other people judge you, and nor other people like you when you judge them. As Jesus says, judge not, thou shalt not be judged. And this famous scriptural quotation is highly inspirational. What's wrong about judgment? Think of it. Whenever you judge anybody, aren't you trying to judge them from your own perspective? And do you think that your own perspective is absolute? Certainly not. It's your perspective. Just the way I say, look at my spectacles. I said, this is a beautiful pair of spectacles. Is it universal? Is it absolute? Will all people who listen to me when I said, this is a beautiful pair of spectacles, would agree with me? That's a beautiful pair of spectacles? Some will agree, some will not comment. So what happened to my judgment? This is an opinion. Every judgment is opinionistic. So people who have the habit of judging all people all the time, they're either prejudiced or opinionated. And I'm pretty sure if you have experienced, if some such people exist within the family life becomes very difficult. My request is, don't fall prey of this attitude. This is a dangerous attitude. I love saying that whenever we judge someone, we want to put their picture into our frame, right? All pictures do not fix in our frame. Every picture is different. So, people who are judged, they have a very limited perspective about life. They are quite often myopic in their attitude. Myopic, beautiful word. They see everything from a very close quarter. Another way of describing judging people is they all the time wear some kind of a blinkers over their eyes. You know blinkers? Why the horses are given blinkers? Because human beings want to reduce the domain, the field of their vision. Because the horses see the whole world, they will not run. They reduce their sight and make them look only at the road. So their relativity is lost. So whenever they run on the same road, they think they go to different places, and that's why they go. Now, break those blinkers. Get out of those judgment. Another way of describing judging people are, we call them tunnel thinkers. What happens? When the train goes through a tunnel, you can't see what's beyond the tunnel. You only see one side. So these people have got only one-sided vision. They look at the world from their point of view. They all the time judge other people based on their past experiences. So, listen to me. Feel. Do you agree? Every judgment is not about the present. Every judgment is about the past. About the past. And the past is dead. People who live in the present moment will never give judgments, will never judge others based on their past opinions and experiences and viewpoint. And that's why we call them open-minded people. And as long as you are a victim of judgment, think, will you be able to do justice to anybody else in this world? People of judgment will never do justice, because all the times they will speak like this. English people are like that. American people are like that. Spanish are like that. Chinese are like that. Japanese are like that. And within India, it's a multilingual, multicultural country. So quite often we hear Bengalis are like that, Madrasis are like that, North Indians are like that. He's a Gujarati, so he must be very thrifty. And that kind of concepts we carry. People are people. They are individuals. I know they have a culture. Staying in the same place, they belong to the culture. But when they shift over to another place, the culture changes. Which means that it is not deep down within them. They're not born with the judgment. They picked up the judgmental attitude because they're not open-minded. So there is a need of training, there is a need of development in such people to break that judgmental attitude in order to do justice to others. So my topic today is a transformation from small j to capital J, from judgment to justice. Now think about the word justice. It's one of the most beautiful words. According to me, people who are really just in their thoughts, in our ideas, they are the highest quality of people. They are the excellent people. They are the people who are the role model. They are the people who do not have enemies, because all the time they do justice. In every walk, in every thought, in every ideas, in every expression, in every activity, they will do justice. It's a very high quality, evolved mental state. So it makes sense to really explore how we can transform ourselves from the realm of judgment to that level of, to the augmented, exalted level of justice. I remember a beautiful story. I'm pretty sure you would love them. This story is about two Buddhist saints. You know the Buddhist saints? They silently walk. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. They walk and walk and walk, miles and miles, months after month, from one monastery to another monastery. And they're absolutely silent. They're very self-restrained. They're very serene. They're all the time meditating. They're in a meditational state while they walk. So these two silent saints have been walking for months and proceeding towards a monastery. They walk through the forest day in and day out, silently. Both of them travel together in harmony. They don't talk to each other. They're silent. They're not reactive in their temperament. But their minds are alert. All the time they're awakened. Everything that happens around, they are aware of it. They're listening, they're seeing, they're experiencing. And that's the beauty of meditation. Now one day, in the early morning, when these two saints were passing through the forest, they reached a riverside. And the river was flowing very fast. So both of them crossed over the river to the other side. Now before they crossed, right at that river shore, there was a charming, young, beautiful lady, struggling, fearful. She also wanted to go to the other side. But the river was moving so forcefully. She was hesitating. She was not confident. She intently looks at the two saints. Neither of them look at her. They cross the river. After a little while, one of the two saints returned. He felt something. He experienced something. So he comes back, crosses back the river, and the saint lifts that pretty girl in his arms and helps her cross the river, and then leaves her on the other side and once again silently starts walking. The other saint also stopped, looked behind, and see the act of his fellow saint. He had a small frown in his head, but he didn't talk anything. They never referred back anything. They walked for another month until they reached that beautiful monastery. It was a lovely place. The time would be there for them to rest at the feet of Lord Buddha, and they will meditate there for some time. Both of them entered the monastery. There was a vast big picture of the Lord, the statue of the Lord, And both of them stood there. Now the other saint looks at the saint who lifted that girl and says, "You have done a crime. You have done a sin. And you must repent. You must confess before the Lord. You have violated the rule." This saint calmly looks at him, as if not knowing what has happened. And he said, "I don't remember, brother. What sin have I done?" Said, "You don't remember? Remember a month before, you lifted that girl in your arm? Didn't you forget that you are a saint? You are not supposed to touch a lady. That's our rule. You lifted the lady. You violated the rule. Confess before the Lord. You have done a sin." The saint innocently smiles and looks at its fellow saint. He said, "Have I? I don't know. But I see, my brother, you need to confess your crime. Because I left the girl a month back there. You have been carrying the girl inside your head. Throughout this 1 month, your mind was not free. You were not meditating on the Lord. You were only meditating on that episode. So before me, my brother, you should confess." This is one of the most beautiful stories I have read ever in my life, and this aptly describes what is judgment. Between the two saints, who do you think was just and who do you think was judging? The saint who carried this episode inside his head was on his past. But saints are not supposed to be in the past. The saints always keep their mind in the present moment, awaken, alert, with his eyes, ears, everything. So there you are, my dear friend. If you really want to be in justice, be in the present moment. Have an open mind. Don't get prejudiced by your past experience. Just experience what's happening around you right now. And then, that particular moment, you will have the wisdom to view what is just for you. And that will be an enlightened way of living. Be in the present moment. Being in the past will make you judgmental. Being judgmental means all the time you use an old image to see something which you are seeing now. And that is the time we need to learn how to exist in the present moment. The power is in now. And when you learn how to be in the present moment, not only will you be in justice, you will ascend to the higher realm of your existence. And those higher realms are the realms of peace, love, joy, enlightenment. And then you will slowly proceed to freedom. The ultimate perspective, ultimate purpose of our existence is to enjoy the freedom. And in order for us to enjoy the freedom, the first character which we need to acquire is to getting rid of the judgment. What is the characteristic difference between these two kinds, people who are just and people who are judging? What is the characteristic difference? The judgmental attitude comes to you because we are victim of ego. It is our ego who creates this attitude of judgment. Right, wrong, good, bad. All these discriminations come in our mind and we get divided. We get fragmented. We get segmented. And every time we judge, we descend down to our part from the whole. Being just is being in the whole, and being judge being in the part. So this travel from the small j to big J is not a very mean thing. Rather, this is one of the most prominent spiritual journey. All of us need to explore this journey. Shun the small j from our life and proceed to the capital J. Let us shun away the attitude of judging everybody in this world. Because we are not the perfect thermometer. We are not the perfect barometer in this world. Is there anyone in the world who can say you are the best, you are the ultimate, you are zero defect? The only zero defect is the Creator. We are all faulty people. If you measure the pressure with a faulty barometer, you give faulty reading. If you measure the temperature with a faulty thermometer, you get faulty reading. So we are all not perfect and we are proceeding towards perfection. So why take the risk of judging others and by that process defining ourselves and killing our freedom? Ladies and gentlemen, today I am inspired to invite you to this beautiful spiritual journey of traveling into that capital J realm. I wish every one of you who are listening to me begin this journey right here and now. Be in the present moment and reduce that judgmental attitude and completely neutralize it from your life and ascend into the realm of freedom by doing justice every moment, investing in love, investing in joy, peace, harmony. And the world then is going to become a beautiful place to live in. I wish you all the best in this wonderful journey and see you soon. Thank you very much.